All right, hello everybody. Let me get this all set and going. Wait a minute. I want, there we go. Get it showing up there. Oh, that worked really fast today. Apparently YouTube is awake and ready to go. So, hi everybody. Happy September already. I don't know how that happened. Um, Wonder how many people are getting ready to head back to school by now. Generally in Washington State, it's after Labor Day. We started a little bit early since we homeschool anyway, which more people are doing this year, but um, September definitely makes it feel more like fall. Hello, Lisa from Michigan. Welcome. Glad you could join us. Give a couple more minutes here for a few more people to come on and catch up because I'm, for once here, not actually late. Hello from North Carolina, Debbie. Usually I forget how long it takes me to get things rolling on YouTube. So I was right on time. In fact, I was ready about 2 minutes early and I was just sitting there waiting to hit the button. So we were right on and ready to go this morning, at least by my clock. I don't know. Maybe my clocks are wrong, but hello from Georgia. Hello, Leah. Hi, Laura. Hi from Iowa. Welcome, everybody. Super excited today. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Carol. Deborah. Oh, yay. Welcome. First time. So glad you could join us from Montana. Oh, your message disappeared, but it was there a second ago. Hi, Connie's Craft. Yes, I think it's been feeling like that a little bit in Washington, Leah. I've just been a little in denial. My kids wanted to get out the fall decorations here a couple weeks ago, and I was like, no, you have to wait till September. So I think right now they're getting the box down in the garage to start putting up fall decorations. They've been I was like, our summer was felt so short this year. I didn't want to jump into fall too quick. I love fall. I think it might be my favorite time of year, but I still wanted to enjoy that last little bit of summer. So let's see. Hello from Southern California. Hello, Anna. Yes, and it looked like it was going to be really cool today, and it's warming up. My room is really stuffy and muggy and warm, so hopefully I don't melt on you today. Someone else says no fall yet. All right, so today we're going to be creating a card inspired. You probably saw the little one that we posted in the email and at the cover of this live, created by none other than the amazing Jennifer McGuire. It's a little bit of an older card, so that one actually uses, I think some of what it uses is actually retired by now. Um, Maybe not. I might be wrong on that, but I think some of it is retired. But I'm going to update it and kind of recreate the idea a little bit with, of course, a little twist on it and using some of the newest release, which I thought would be a really good fit for it. So we're going to use the beautiful blushing floral. It's such just a dainty and really pretty. We've used it in a couple lives, but it just doesn't get old. And it's one of the few from the new release that's still in stock. That's right, the floral stamp. I knew the alphas weren't, but I thought the floral might have been. Leah just helped me out there. All right, and then I'm going to use the Heather uppercase letter dies, the ones named after me. I haven't used these. I've used them a little bit, but I've kind of mixed and matched with the Leah alphas. But this one in particular, again, is still in stock, so I thought it was kind of a good fit. That I could try and use. And then for the little secondary sentiment, I'm still undecided on which set I'm going to use. I'll show you the two I'm thinking of. I'm either going to use a sentiment from Take Pride or from Simply Sentiments You. So it's going to be one of these two, and I'll figure that out when we get to that spot. But in the meantime, I figured we'll go ahead and start working on this. Yes, I kind of love these alphas too. So I'm excited to use them a little bit more on our card today. And then instead of Jennifer McGuire's card used some stamping and some coloring. So I'm going to switch up. We're going to heat emboss one of them. And instead of coloring, I thought it'd be fun to do some emboss resist and ink blending over the top. So I have not used these colors together, but I just pulled out and thought, let's see if I can hold these up. I thought these colors, tell me what you think. I think these colors are really pretty together. And it felt like kind of I don't know, a warmer, soft pastel fall color palette, kind of a fun, different one. So it's going to be Lemon Whip, Soft Lilac, and Slumber. And then, of course, for the background stamping, a little bit of Warm Buff as well. Woo! watch me throw them on the floor. Oh, hello from the eye doctor's office. I guess this is your test to read lips until I turn the camera around, right? Um, let's see, make sure I didn't miss any other. All right, so since I know there's at least one person joining us for the first time, I will mention now real quick, we draw a $15 gift card winner at the end. So make sure and leave comments. If you want to click and share this over on your other social media, feel free to go ahead and do that. Every comment and leave a comment letting us know you shared. All of those count as an entry for the $15 gift card at the end. Leo will go ahead and announce that when we get to the end. So if you have any questions, usually I kind of try and keep an eye on them. Sometimes I miss them. If I miss one, Leah's really good about catching them. And she also will link up each of the products we use as we go along. So if there's something you're wondering what it was called or you missed the name, don't worry about it. It'll all be linked and on there. Um, so you'll be able to find it that way. So, oh my goodness. We are watching my brother's dog. They're moving over from Hawaii and they're right in transition in their house. And she thinks she's super tough. And I think that's my dad stopping by right now. He picked the perfect time to stop by. So she had to go be all tough before she realized it's just grandpa and it's not a big deal. So excuse the little fierce rat dog there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around and let's see if we can go ahead and get started on this. I hear her out there growling and being all tough. I don't even know if you guys could hear it as loud as I could. I sure heard that one good. All right, let's adjust that camera a little, try and get it centered. I'm gonna pull out these sets that we're planning on using. And of course, I don't have a sample again because I'm creating inspired by another card. So we're gonna use this a little bit. I just remember too, I should probably pull out, yes, my embossing ink as well. Okay, so we're going to stamp this one to start, and then we'll worry about the ink blending and the word dyes and all of that. So let's do this one step at a time. I just always like to kind of lay everything out and make sure everything's working okay on my screen the way I want it to be. Okay, so we're going to start off with this blushing floral. It is red rubber, so it's going to stamp really nice as a background stamp. It also gives you the ability to do kind of some um, different techniques that are a little bit more fun and unique. I like the feel of the red rubber for a background like this. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up in the corner here of my MISTI. And then I'm going to hold that cardstock in place a little bit because this one's a little smaller than my A2 card panel, so it's going to make it nice and easy. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it on this panel. I have two panels here that I'm going to use. And stamping them exactly the same in the MISTI like this is going to work great for lining them up in place. I'll show you that in a minute, but we'll start here with the warm buff ink, which is just kind of I think of it as kind of a craft tone, nice and soft and neutral. Um, and I kept with I almost pulled out the grays, but I wanted to keep it a little more of a warm feel to the color tone. Okay, and as we mention, I think nearly every week, this is a dye ink that we're using on this. So that first color looks really bold and bright, maybe even a little bit blotchy, but that is going to soften out to a beautiful color as the dyes sink into that paper a little bit. So if you look at it first and go, that kind of doesn't look like the color I was expecting. Let's give it a little time, and I promise it's going to change and soften out to that color that we're expecting. So just kind of a tidbit on dye inks if you're unfamiliar with them. All right, the second panel, it's gonna stamp in exactly the same place, but we're gonna heat emboss it so we can do our ink blending and emboss resist over the background. So I'm gonna use my powder tool really well on this one, and then I'm gonna stamp it with embossing ink. And I'm gonna go ahead, I don't always do this, but especially today live because this would be the one where I'd mess it up and not get it right. I'm going to double stamp it because the MISTI is going to keep it lined up and help it stamp perfectly. But that way I make sure I have plenty of embossing ink on there and I'm going to have a nice, clear, great image. And I didn't perfectly clean my stamp between, so there's a tiny bit of color transfer on there, but I'm not too worried because we're going to heat emboss it with white. So I'm going to set this aside and I'll pull out that white. Oh, and that, my friends, is why I have a lid on my iced tea, because thankfully I did not just flood my desk with my iced tea. So I did do that in one of our early lives. If you've been around for a long time for these, then you probably remember that. So you can just laugh and remember and know that I have definitely learned from past mistakes. Okay, and sprinkle on, and then I'll pull out my heat gun. This is a bit of a big image. I think we heat embossed this one other time. But yes, a MISTI is so helpful for this. And you can do this without a MISTI. It's just gonna work out a little different. I'm gonna go ahead and heat set this here real quick and get that done. Okay, I think we got that all. I always have to sit and kind of look at it and make sure I didn't miss any spots, but looks good, I think. 'Cause that was a big image. I wanted to make sure I got it all. I'm going to clean off my desk. How did I choose my colors, Del Skinner? I literally came in here about 5 minutes before the live and I pulled out, so I have my really great swatches here, but before I had time and built those, um, I did a quick just stamp out of them when I first got them because I was so excited. So I just have a really rough, and then I also have these ones that are little strips that I ink blended on so I could see how the colors looked ink blending. So between these two, I just kind of looked and went, those look good together. That'll be fun. So it really was just kind of on a whim and going, yeah, I like those colors together. So we'll see how they work as we blend. Um, I need to learn a little more about ink blending to really do better on that. But and color, I really should get a color wheel. I've just always kind of um, relied on winging it and going for that. So this was white embossing powder. I honestly was going to do clear, but when I noticed I hadn't cleaned my stamp off super well in between, um, and there was a little color, I decided to go ahead and go with, and you know what, I see one little spot there that's not heat set enough. Just a second. Okay. Okay, much better. Oh, and then up there too. Once it cools all the way, that's when I can really tell if I missed a little spot. Um, but yeah, so I decided to do white because that would cover up the color that was on there, that little bit of the tan. So if I'd cleaned my stamp a little bit better in between and hadn't been in as big a hurry, then that would have worked fine without that. Okay, so I'm going to pull out our colors, and I think I'm going to go in that order moving down. Yeah, I like that. And I don't think I'm going to go super dark. I'm going to start with my life-changing blender brushes. And if those seem a little too small and like I want to lay a little more color down, then I'll pull out the bigger ones. But I'm kind of okay. And usually the reason I do the clear embossing powder for Emboss Resist, partly it feels more magical because when you blend the ink over the top, um, it just suddenly, the image appears, which I'm sure on the screen in the video, it definitely looks like it's still magically appearing, but I can see it a little more, the white on white here in person. I'm just going to be really soft here and gradually build up that color for the ink blending here. And I've learned, especially from, I mean, Laura Basson is a perfect example. A really soft touch is the best advice I can give for the ink blending. Just, you can keep building up the color. It takes a little more time, but it's definitely worth that little bit of time that it takes. Okay, so I think that's about right there with that lemon whip. Yes, diamond tiles is one of the best, and the pop out chevron. Yep. Lisa, heavy hand. I know it's so hard to get that starting to ease off and just do a soft. And really, it's practice. Just keep playing with it and trying. And I like to, when I first start, I kind of dab some of the ink off, and then I press really gently. And depending on the color, some colors you can do a little bit of a heavier touch. Some of them you need that super soft feel to it. Um, So just kind of play with it. And one thing too, I used to really just, push down with my thumb. And I learned that with these style of brushes, the best way to hold them is on the side because it helps kind of force you to not add too much pressure when you're doing that blending. Oh, is anyone else loving these two colors together? I love how these blend together. I wasn't quite sure because, like I said, I know there's a whole science to the color wheel and what colors go together and which ones don't, but I've never fully learned all those things like I should. So I'm really happy with how those are blending together. All right, that was soft lilac. So get these straight here. Let's go ahead and move on and do slumber. I'm going to change and I do have a blending brush for each color family. I know Leah does not. She just cleans them off in between. But as I say every week, I do so much ink blending that to me it's worth having one in each color family because it just saves me having to clean them in between. And especially on these lives, it shortens down my time. And this is definitely a deeper color, so I'm noticing I'm doing better with um, letting the color kind of dab off a little. And again, this is our life-changing blender, not our, they're life-changing blender brushes. Um, they're kind of my favorite. I found they work really well with our inks. So it's something I really love um, doing ink blending with our inks using these because they do it. I think it's the really super soft bristles and some of these pale colors. All right, what do you think? You can keep going and going and going for forever and a day on ink blending. I think I'm going to come back. Yes, the brushes. See, Laura Basson can do magic with brushes or foam pads or anything you give her. She's just incredible. But I've had, ever since I got my first blending brushes, I feel like I've had so much better luck with them. All right, I'm going to just blend a little more of that purple just to kind of soften the line, especially between the blue and the purple there. Okay, and I think on that note, it's pretty nice and soft in pastel, but I think that's going to work really well together. So we could add more and keep building up the color, but I think I'm just going to kind of call it quits and we're going to see how it goes with these. All right, so I'm going to use the same word that Jennifer McGuire did on her card. So all I need is, oops, pull out my thing here. I need the Y, the O, and the U. And then it's just a matter of lining these up in a way on here that I'm happy with. Because what we're going to do is we're going to die come out of here, and then they're going to mount directly onto here, but they'll match up with the pattern, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. I'm going to kind of squish these together, and then I'm going to give them a good bit of purple tape to hold them in place because it actually matters how these line up. So I don't want, oh yeah, that was the Heather uppercase. I know I said it at the beginning, but Leah linked it up anyway. Okay. I really want to make sure that these hold and stay in place nice and steady. And the U. Make sure there's a little bit of a space in there. Okay. All right, and then I'm trying to decide, should I bring my Gemini over here or just take it out? I think I will because I have a little more die cutting to do as well. So give me a second here to rearrange my desk and pull that over here. It won't fit all the way on screen super well, but it'll get on here enough to let you be able to see what I'm doing. And on the subject of Jennifer McGuire, hold on, let me run this through. All right, so I'm going to take all of these off of here. And the fun thing is now we're going to be able to get 2 cards for 1 by the time we're finished with this here. So that's going to be another little touch. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm just catching up the comments there, making sure that everybody, I haven't missed something that someone's asking or whatever. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just leave the, maybe I'm not because I need that spot there to get the letters out of there. I'm going to save that purple tape because I will reuse that here real quick. Let me get all of the little bits and pieces out of here. I can't find this purple tape anymore, so I don't want to lose and waste it. I love these little dainty ones as well. I'm noticing on here those little outline, they look so soft and pretty on there. Okay, we're gonna do the exact same thing. This doesn't matter as much, so I'm gonna tape them in place, but more just so they don't wobble and move, less because I'm worried about getting them lined up. In fact, you might notice I've got all the letters in the wrong order, so definitely not worried about. Okay, here we go. Let's see, and Lisa, yes, they have this, and that's what we're going to combine on these. So in just a second here, I'll show you what I'm working on. But really quickly here first, I'm going to move over and grab my, let's see, let's use just the stitched rectangles real quick, and I'll use, whoopsie, pull those out. These are just the stitched rectangles, and I'm going to use that on both of these. You might notice every time I use I do a die cut, I'm flipping my my bottom plate over. But I use Jennifer McGuire's method. She did a video here recently where she tapes all of her top plates together. You can go look that up pretty easily. Sorry. Anyway, it just makes my life easier. So I've been quite happy with that as a plan. So I'm going to die cut that one, and I'm also going to die cut this one using the exact same rectangle die. Let's see if I get that. Hold on. I feel like I was a little crooked on that. I want to make sure they're close to the same so that everything will line up easily. Okay, there's the other one of those. So now I've got both of those die cuts, so this is going to make that part easy. And yes, I'm hoarding my purple tape a bit. I'm seeing some comments they're talking about the new, and I know a lot of people aren't loving, and I'm kind of the same group that I don't love the new style. I like the tackiness of the original. So I'm literally on my last roll and kind of sad to be out of it. All right, move my die cut machine back out of the way. And this is where we get to start the fun assembly process. So I'm just gonna get that little piece of tape out of the way. There's my poker tool. And the reason I die cut this again from the craft paper is kind of like it looked like Jennifer did on her card. I'm just guessing because I didn't look in enough detail to know if that's true or not, but I'm assuming that she layered them with the outline. Those are a previous, the Adora Alpha, I believe, is what she used on hers. And they have a similar feature to these new dies that's been super duper popular. So I'm going to grab, and actually, as I'm looking at this, going, maybe what I need, I might need 2 sets of these now that I'm thinking about it, but we'll see. So I have 2 craft card bases that I was planning on using on this. And what's going to work here is I'm going to put this and layer that one in there. Yeah, in fact, I'm thinking I want to die cut these from white, I think is what I want to do. So I might do that. So I'm going to kind of get these sort of assembled together. But what I want to do is I actually want to line this up. Can you see how it's matching up there to the pattern on the background? I don't know if you can kind of see that. It's really hard to see. And if it's not perfect, oops, you really won't notice. But I'm going to start by adhering those in place. I'm going to use a tiny bit of liquid glue because the liquid glue is going to give me that wiggle room to get them set just right into place. Let's see. Make sure I'm getting those lined up where I want there. Okay, there's that first letter. Now I gotta make sure, because of course I didn't pay attention here. And it probably won't. No, there. I think that's right. Is that right? Or do I have that upside down? I might have that upside down. Nope, nope, nope. It's definitely went that way. Okay. So I think that needs to, yep, you just gotta lock in and find the spot where everything lines up. So I think we're there. So I'm gonna put my little dot of liquid glue on there. Start there because I can see that that lines up. Yep, okay. There's that, and then we'll just add, the O is the only one I was worried about getting right side up on there. So I had to make sure I got that one lined up right. And now this should give me a better idea of exactly where this one needs to line up so that I match up those letters there. Okay, now that we've done that, I'm gonna add the outline parts on here. So we'll use a glue pen for that. I think that's gonna be the, oh yeah. Why didn't I think about that? That would actually do, as long as I perfectly cut that rectangle out, I could have set this piece over to line up. And we'll see, at least once I got the first one lined up, I would have been pretty good. And it looks like I would have been maybe ever so slightly off. So it's probably a good thing. Yes, graphic backgrounds, any of our background stamps would be super fun for this design as well. There we go. The O on here. Just adding a little line of glue. I know some people said they added adhesive onto their cardstock before they did the die cutting. Leah, the video that Leah just posted on our YouTube channel, I see some people discussing the tape again. She gets some purple tape from, I think, Home Depot, she said, and it's in the paint section and it's a little bit wider and she really likes it even better than the purple tape. So I'm going to try and go pick some of that up here eventually. It's on my next time hubby has to go to the home improvement store. I'm going to be tagging along with him. Okay. So now we've got that already. I'm really liking, I love that soft color there. All right, so then the only other thing that I kind of sort of forgot about that would probably be helpful to do is I feel like I need to die cut this again from white. Yeah, let's do these letters real quick so we can, I've got some spare white cardstock here, thankfully. So I won't bring my die cut machine back over here yet, just because I think I can do this off camera really quick and be fine. And we just need, really all I want is the center portion of this. So I will be right back there. If you ever get bored on YouTube lives, you know it's not going to be boring, because I never fully 100% know what I'm doing until we start crafting. So you get to experience it all right along with me as I figure out what I'm doing. I don't know if that's fun or if it's kind of scary, but there you go. That's what you get there. All right. Welcome, Froma from Florida. First time, so glad you could join us. Okay, we are gonna do, I think we will, on this one, the other one I just glued it straight down because I was lining up with the background pattern. This one, I'm gonna tape that front panel in place just to make sure we're even. And then I think we'll pop those other letters up on this one with a touch of foam adhesive, just for a fun change of pace. I'm seeing I'm right at the end of this roll of foam adhesive, so I'm gonna have to get some more out here in a minute, which hopefully I have more, otherwise that will put a swift end to my foam adhesive plans. Okay, I'm gonna put my foam on all of these real quick here before I move on. Seeing I'm gonna need a very, very tiny sliver on that side. Okay, I'll put a tiny dot on here. Can we do it? No, we're just gonna leave that one floating free. Wasn't quite sure if that would work, but I don't think I can. I think that's a little too fine there, so we're just gonna be okay with that. I don't think I need a ton of foam adhesive on these, so it'll be okay there. Okay. We're just gonna trust that this one will hold in place. And on these, I'm going to not use the outline. I'm just gonna kind of let that negative space between the two of them work as our outline. So I don't have to cut these again. I can just sort of plug them into place. Let's do the O next. Yes, in fact, you could do this on a slimline card too, especially if you stamped your image on both ends there. I really like how these white letters pop. Sorry, change the subject. Yes, and a 2-for-1. That's one of my favorite ways to do cards. Sorry, getting that foam adhesive backing is so tricky sometimes. Okay. So that, I was debating on putting that front part up with foam adhesive, but I really like just the letters popped up there. And I think, whoops, throwing my stamp cleaner. I'm just going to adhere this straight down because I think I really like the idea of it being directly on. And yes, I too love that little bit of negative space on there, how it kind of adds that feel of that border without actually having it on there. I might have to stick that down somehow, but I'll just leave it free floating for now. And it's kind of a fun way to use. Oh, I see another first timer. If you're late and just joining us, I'm going to add on now. Make sure and leave all those comments and everything else, because we'll pick a winner for a $15 gift card at the end as well. And all of that will count as an entry. I'm glad we have so many first timers joining us. Okay, move all these out of the way. I don't know why, but see, look, I still have Still have all kinds of little leftover bits of the letters to play with too. So you can still piece together. I mean, you could use these together, put them on a white card base. You could use just the outlines together and create the word that way. So there's still tons and tons of possibilities here. In fact, as I look here, I'm going, oh yeah, I really should add a little bit of foam adhesive. Where did I put my foam adhesive? There it is. Onto the center of the O there as well. I think that'll finish off the O on here and make it look a little more complete. I almost missed that part on there. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to save all of these other letters, and then I can still use these down the road for another card someday when I want. Slide them out of the way here, because now the only thing we have left that we need to do is add our little secondary sentiment on here. These, Linda, are, oh, there we go. Leah already answered, the Heather uppercase dies. All right, so I think I'm going to do, I can do the You Amaze Me, or Take Pride in Yourself, Be Your Own Person. And this is from the Take Pride set, or simply Sentiments You. And I think I love the longer, I just like to kind of lay them on here and decide. I like just a single, I like that you are my favorite notification. I love that you're my person. I like you believe that anything is possible. I like I love you most of all. And the pink piece could go in the center. On this one, I was okay with it staying open there to see the background in there. That's why I left that one out, Jackie. But you could very much put it in there. So you can set it in there and just see what we, I drop it. Yeah, I think I like that one better out because I think it, now I can't get it out, of course. Didn't even glue it and it wants to stay. Happy and home there. Okay, so I think I'll pick just 2 of those and I'm just gonna stamp those in one of the colors we used here today. So I think I'll do Slumber and then on some cardstock here that we can just trim into thin strips. So I think I'll do I Love You Most of All and I Love That You're My Person. I like those 2. Okay, let's see if my stamp block is long enough for, oh yes. Because I'm going to try and brave it here without the Misty, so we'll see how that goes. But I've got my Misty right handy there if I decide I need to. Oh, I think I see what you're saying. Someone said the blended background we need, the pink one. I get it. Okay, hold on. I'm pulling that out and switching that. I suddenly figured it out. I'm only a little slow. I agree. I was thinking I didn't really like that white center there, but I couldn't quite put my finger on why I didn't. And that right there totally explains it. Okay. What do we think? Is that better? I hope so, because I ruined the white one. So, although as I'm looking at it, no foam adhesive. We'll put that one straight on the bottom. I'm glad you guys said that. That was a good, good bit of advice, and I totally missed that. I'm going to use tweezers to get that in place because I know I'm going to lose. But yes, I'm going to leave that one down directly on the background. It didn't need to be popped up with foam. Okay, better. That did it. That's what it needed. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, all of the comments. Everyone's like, yes, much, much better. Good catch there. Okay, and then I'm going to use another stamp block, and I think, so I did that one with Slumber. Let's see, I'm going to test and see if Lemon Whip, if it stamps dark enough to be able to see. If it doesn't, we'll just stick with that Slumber too for that. I think we're going to need Slumber on that one because I think that yellow is going to be too pale. So let's just do Slumber for both of those sentiments. Could also do the Warm Buff as well, but okay. Love how nicely those stamp. Okay, let's move these out of the way here, trim this down, and then I think we're done. And I'm going to go ahead because I can tell I went longer than normal now. So as we wind down, Leah, you can start picking a winner now if you want, just so we don't keep people so long as I'm fiddling around with my last little finishing touch on here. I know usually we're done about by now, so I don't want to keep everyone in the middle of their day too long if I don't have to. Okay, so I'm just going to trim these down nice and simple. And then I could probably even trim those thinner, but I'm going to leave them as is. As I'm looking at it, I might not stick these down because I might still switch them out. Like this one, I think I need to heat emboss in white on the craft or something because that just doesn't, it pops okay on here, but I think I want this one heat embossed in white on the craft. So excuse not to cook dinner. Well, you know, I am always happy to provide um, an excuse there. So just while I wait here and let Leah pick that winner, I'll see if I can heat emboss that in white and get that all, oh, sparkle. I forgot about that too. We didn't add any bling yet. I'm just taking you guys, I guess we're making 2 cards, so it's not too bad, right? Jewels. The other 2 colors, Michelle, were soft lilac and lemon whip. Okay, and depending on how much I like this one, we might end up switching the other one up. Let me heat emboss this real quick and see how it looks. All right, trim this down. All right, and then I'll get the bling out. I guess I was thinking of the original cards inspired by Jennifer McGuire. I don't think that had any bling on it, so I just didn't think ahead to it like I normally would. Okay. Don't you love the whole creative confused process? All right, that's what that one needed. Okay, I think I'll leave that one the same there, but let's pull out the bling and pick which ones. I know I'm gonna want a little bit of that lavender color, a little bit of the creamy yellow, and I'm not quite sure. I might just stick with those ones on here. We could probably, yeah, that was definitely a good change there. This is gonna be pretty easy. A little bit around the sentiment there. Do the same on here. A little grouping of 3. And then I think we'll just do that creamy yellow and call that good. Okay. This is probably one of my most used colors, but it's kind of hard to go wrong there. In fact, we could probably stick with, as I'm looking on here, I could probably do the purple all the way down for both of these. So maybe what I'll do, get my other one on there, I'll mix and match them. I think that'll work a little better. So we'll switch out that medium one there. And that way we get a little bit of, come off my finger there. That wasn't the medium of the yellow, so we'll swap that one out. There we go. That works good. Then it's a little mix of both of the colors and kind of clustered in there. Okay, so I'll stick these down after we stop here. And then as always, there will be photos of this eventually that I'll get up on my blog so you can see it finished with all the bling. But there we go. There's our inspiration there from Jennifer McGuire. And I see right on cue, Leah announced the winner. Today's winner is Mary L. Hunsberger. So congratulations. Thank you everybody for joining me in making. I'm going to pull them up and just give you one last closer look here. My camera's zoomed out a little more than normal. So you can see all that sparkle and bling and our 2-for-1 cards. And thank you to Jennifer McGuire for the beautiful inspiration on these. And I will see you all on Thursday again. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your week. I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.